it's almost 70. This is from like the 1950s, so it's nearly 75 years old.
There's probably mercury in there.
It could be.
I don't know. That might be spring.
But I put it
either
there.
way.
Yeah,
That way we can gauge how intense our conversations become.
Oh.
Temperature rises. It's the Tell True. I think this company still exists, actually. They're out of New York, and it's a room thermometer. Why would you have used this exactly in the past? If you had like a wood stove or something?
Why do you use room thermometers at all?
At all. Yeah, that's true.
That is the question.
I mean, they still use them. Now it's digital.
Well, yeah, I
That's
guess,
right.
I suppose.
Actually, and that turns out to be a real pain in the butt when everybody wants to look at the temperature in every room and thinks it should be exactly the same.
Yeah, right.
And it's digital
This
now.
is way more accurate than
This
your
one says
Probably
69 and that says 70. Why are they different?
This has been given
I
the
don't
correct
care.
temperature for 75 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
eco be, anyway.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, it's good to be here for the Homeology podcast. It is season 4. Wow. Episode 1. The reason that it feels like a wow is because it's been way too many months since season 3 ended.
Yeah, right.
And we just never
We're just building up the anticipation.
for those of you that are joining us for this season, what do they call the first episode of something? It's the season
Premiere.
Yeah,
that's it.
Premiere of season 4. We just want to apologize for the delay, the lag. I mean, you've been patiently waiting and probably on pins and needles wondering when are they coming back.
They probably were.
Yeah.
But, you know what's interesting? There's like all of the like the trade shows or the conferences that we go to. Have you noticed like there's podcasters at everywhere?
Yeah.
They're sitting around and they're in their cool little space and the lights are everywhere and I'm like, oh, they're talking on things just like us. So it obviously not as good as how we do it here.
Probably not.
But so for those of you that have been waiting for us to start the episode so you could then mimic it and do the same thing, well, you're welcome. We're back. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the Homeology podcast, a weekly conversation with your HVAC team here at Vertex Mechanical. We're glad you've taken a few moments as part of your day to laugh with us, maybe learn something new, and be inspired.
Here we are.
We're back.
But we're in a new place, and we don't even really have an official podcast set up anymore because we moved over here, and we're now living in 1985.
Yep.
North Reading Road.
Yeah, I was thinking like the year 1985, like
That's a long time ago.
20 years before you was born.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
Yes, that is
And a
correct.
few years after you was born.
Yeah, right.
So
Just a
I'm
few,
somewhere
but
in the
not
middle. Not many. But yeah, we're at 1985 North Reading Road. Maybe you've seen some of our little ads about that and trying to share the news that we're in a new location. We have not moved. People keep saying, did you guys move? No, we have expanded.
Yeah.
Which is a very different statement to make, right?
It is.
Because if you see where we moved to, you'd be like, oh, you shrunk.
Yeah.
But we've not shrunken. We haven't said we have expanded. And the idea is we want to be able to serve customers differently. Nate, you get to deal with customers regularly, as you're working with the sales team and sharing. And Vince, you get to work with customers regularly when they call in with very curious concepts and questions. You get to handle some really fun stuff.
Yep.
But we're also trying to care for customers in a whole different way right now. And I think it's interesting because we are seeing a resurgence. I say we, I'm not sure who I'm saying when I say we, I guess people in general, a resurgence of the brick and mortar.
Yep.
And,
I think you're right.
And the value would that be true?
I think for our particular industry, it is. It's so hard to do this. I mean, you can go online and find anything. And you can find YouTube for anything, right? But there's still I'm not sure I even know how to ask the question of what's going on. So therefore, guys like us, I'd like to think we still hold value.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
which is kind of strange because from an industry, I mean, people aren't coming to a showroom to look at 3/4 inch, PVC. That's not, but they are kind of curious, like, what is the new technology?
Right.
How does it fit in my space? And does it make sense for me? And so, you have those conversations at homes all the time.
Sure.
But you're not necessarily carrying all that equipment with you in your vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of that is just like iPad and pictures, and it's still all digital. So even though we're there having the conversation, it's still digital.
Right.
So to be able to have a place like this where, we have water conditioning set up, we have, LG water heaters set up and have ductless systems throughout. That part of it is super exciting for me, especially, but we need you to come in and,
Yeah.
and see it.
Yeah. So, Vince, part of the space there as people enter was kind of your brainchild, which was, hey, like people need to understand not just like how water treatment functions,
Right.
but actually to see how it fits.
Right.
Because there's a lot of different choices with water treatment depending on where you're at, whether you're on a well or you're on city water or whatever. And I really appreciate that because you get in your mind like, oh, I should probably get this for my house, for my space, for my kitchen, for my sink, whatever. And then all of a sudden you realize, wait a second, I don't know if that actually even fits in my space.
Right.
So share a little bit about your vision behind that.
Well, yeah, like an RO system's a perfect example. I mean, you sit there and you look at a picture, right? And you really don't have a full understanding, even if you had the actual product. And you were able to show them the actual filter. Here's what it looks like. Until you put it in the space, and these are meant to kind of fit underneath the sink, right? The kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Well, if you're anything, I mean, if most people are like my wife, who keeps like a lot of stuff under there, I'm stealing a lot of her real estate by putting that in there.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And for people to look under there and say, "Oh, wow, okay, that's going to take up a lot of room. Is there alternatives?" And have that conversation now rather than after it's already installed, and be like, "Yeah, no, we can move that all downstairs and just run a pipe up." And there's maybe a little more cost to that, but they're like, "No, I'd rather do that all day so that I don't lose all the real estate."
Yeah, right.
And so that's such an easy thing to show, like here.
Right.
You can't show that out on the. You're not going to
unpackage
this thing and put it under the sink and say, "Hey, what do you think?"
Yeah, right. Would you like it here, or should we move it?
Yeah, right. Yep. So, I see some value in that. I think
So for clarity, down in our entry space here at 1985 North Reading Road, there is a water softener, and there's a sediment filter, and there's reverse osmosis, and there's an LG heat pump water heater, and all of that stuff is not hidden at all. It's just boom right there in front of you.
Yep.
So that anyone can walk in and be like, hey, I think this would be valuable, but how does it fit? You are welcome to come, as a consumer, as a homeowner, and be like, can I see it?
Right.
Can I understand it?
The other thing that's kind of nice about that particular setup too is we show the progression of when it enters into the house. What are we doing with it? What's the sediment filter do? What's the UV light do? And the same thing with all the other filtration aspects, all the way down to the water heater, because that's where everything happens between where it comes into the house and your water heater is where most of the water conditioning is going to happen. And so to explain that and say, what do you think you need? Or let's look at your needs and explain why, and to have that here working, and operating.
Because we're actually using all of that for our water here.
We are.
Yeah. So we didn't just install it like fakey. Like it's legitimately heating the water and filtering the water.
Yeah.
And making coffee from the water, that type of thing. Yeah. So that's a really cool function. I appreciate that. The other thing that's on the shelves downstairs. It's funny to say that, like, it's on the shelves. You can come and pick it up. Like
you can
literally come and do it. But we have some indoor air quality products. So we've been a big proponent of the air scrubber for many years, which has primarily been in the ducted version, which we install regularly. But there's two other options available for air scrubber that people maybe don't know as much about, but they're actually on the shelf, ready to go out the door. And Nate, they are the mobile and the portable, which sounds similar, but they're not at all.
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about those.
Yeah, so the mobile's for small spaces, so cars, small office spaces, that sort of thing.
Dorm
it's
rooms.
Personal use, is what they call for it.
Dorm rooms is a good one, very good one.
And then the portable version would be a whole home solution, just based off of the amount of square footage that it can do.
I think that one's called like the Pure and Clean.
It would be. Yep.
And that'd be your homes that don't have ductwork.
Exactly.
Like if you have a boiler system or something like that.
Yep. And so that's where we would utilize that piece of equipment, and that's how they're different. They are sizable difference too.
They are.
The one is much larger than the other one, but
But they're here. They're available. You can actually see one that's working. You can grab one off the shelf. The little portable ones that are not much bigger than your smartphone.
Really. Yeah, right.
And that's why they're ideal for those small spaces. They pack a wallop of performance. It's really quite amazing. And so they can travel with you on your vacation this summer. Yeah. In your RV. Yeah. In Vince's truck, whatever. You can take it and go. I know Cheryl, our CFO, she ensured that her kids had one of those before they went to college. It was like, my kids are going to have this. And truly, like, they stayed healthier and happier. Yeah. So that's just another one of the things that's here. And then maybe the most fun part of being here at 1985 is for customers to come and see and meet and shake hands with our CSR team.
Yeah.
Like the smiling faces that you probably have heard when you call in, which is Riley and Gabby and Kayla and Jen. Maybe not us as much. You know, we're not quite as smiley over the phone. But you've talked to Riley, and we've heard people go like, I want to meet that person. She sounds like she is like the manifestation of morning sunshine. Boom, there's Riley.
Yeah, right.
So, and then our sales team is here as well, and they also usually have smiling faces. Yeah. And so, in other words, there's people here that you can walk in at any point in time, have a conversation about, comfort solutions, have a conversation about water treatment, have a conversation about indoor air quality, get your water tested as well.
Pick up some merch.
Pick up some. We would love your feedback on this. Actually, Nathan keeps saying that we should have merch.
We should.
Yeah. And I'm like, what do folks want that says Vertex?
Hats, shirts.
Hats.
Yeah.
We got pens. We have coffee cups.
We do. They're all that's all here for free.
Right.
You just come and pick
Just come pick them up. Yeah.
But if there's a specific Vertex merchandise product that you, our massive listener audience, would like, you just let us know. Yeah. Whether that's umbrellas.
And I think I've proven this because I have been in Weaver's Markets twice now.
Yes.
And have seen just customers in there with Vertex hats on.
Oh, well, the hats were great.
Thanks for wearing those. For starters. Yeah.
And if you're maybe like boots, Vertex boots.
Oh.
Yeah, those get covered up with jeans.
Yeah,
All
right. Vertex earrings.
Yeah, beach chairs.
Big dangly V's.
Yeah.
Okay, beach chairs.
Yeah, beach chairs. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, earrings, no.
No,
we have some work to do.
We have some work to do. Yeah. Mandals.
Mandals. I do like that. Mandals. Yeah. Oh, if you burn this, it smells like ozone.
And that's a man candle, not man sandal.
That's right. Mandal is a men's fragrance candles.
Yeah.
Which like WD-40, things like that. Yeah. And, well, we're not sure about the merch. But anyway, hey, thanks for taking a few minutes with us on the season premiere. Episode 1, Season 4, Homeology Podcast. I'm JV.
I'm Vince.
I'm Nate.
We're glad you joined us, and come again.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks again for joining us today. As always, we hope you enjoyed your time with us, and you'll return again next week. And if you need to get a hold of us, just visit vertex-mechanical.com to call or email.